George Russell's words about Kimi Antonelli strike at the core of Mercedes' current challenges. While the public sees lap times, mistakes, or occasional flashes of brilliance, Russell emphasizes the unseen weight Antonelli carries. At just 17, he is thrust into one of Formula One's most pressured environments, expected to adapt instantly while carrying the burden of Mercedes' slump. The outside world notices only podiums lost and strategy errors, but Russell highlights the human side. The grueling debriefs, the late-night simulator work, and the quiet resilience needed when results fail to reflect effort. In an era dominated by relentless performance metrics, Antonelli's struggles often remain hidden behind the statistics. Russell's defense suggests that raw talent cannot instantly erase structural flaws within a team still searching for its competitive edge. By pulling back the curtain, Russell reminds the sport that behind every struggling rookie lies a story of endurance, discipline, and growth. For Antonelli, the test is not only about speed but surviving scrutiny while keeping faith in his long-term potential. Mercedes, once the standard of excellence, now finds itself fighting in the midfield. After years of dominance, the team's descent has left even experienced drivers under immense strain. For Antonelli, entering during this turbulent period adds layers of complexity rarely faced by a young prospect. The machinery no longer guarantees podiums, and every weekend feels like a battle against limitations rather than a showcase of skill. Russell's comments underline how Antonelli must navigate expectations that were set in an era when Mercedes was untouchable. Fans and critics alike forget that the car's performance deficit makes even seasoned drivers vulnerable. The slump magnifies mistakes, turning learning moments into talking points for scrutiny. The unseen truth Russell points to is that Antonelli's development is taking place under conditions far harsher than most rookies endure. Instead of easing into Formula One with a competitive package, he is expected to learn while helping rebuild a team desperate to recover. Antonelli's presence in Formula One carries symbolism beyond the results sheet. Hailed as a prodigy from the junior ranks, he was framed as Mercedes' answer to the future. This narrative, while inspiring, creates pressure few teenagers could bear. Russell reveals that people rarely appreciate the dual challenge Antonelli faces, proving himself while simultaneously shouldering comparisons to legends who thrived in the same seat. Every move is measured against Hamilton's glory years or Russell's own steady rise. Critics, eager for drama, seize on his every error, forgetting the gap between potential and experience. Russell's defense shines a light on how Antonelli is expected not only to learn, but to embody hope for a struggling dynasty. These expectations weigh heavier because Mercedes fans crave redemption. Antonelli is not allowed the anonymity most rookies enjoy. Instead, he is thrust into the spotlight as a savior. Russell's insight reminds observers that growth takes patience, especially under suffocating comparisons. What the cameras fail to capture is Antonelli's determination in the shadows of the paddock. Russell speaks of countless hours spent in simulations, long technical meetings, and discussions with engineers that rarely make headlines. While fans see frustration during qualifying or disappointment after a race, they do not witness the adjustments and resilience Antonelli displays in private. His maturity, despite his age, reflects not only his talent, but his understanding of what the journey demands. Russell emphasizes that Antonelli absorbs criticism quietly, choosing to channel it to improvement rather than excuses. Within Mercedes, there is recognition of his commitment, even if the public remains focused on results. These efforts often go unrewarded on Sunday afternoons, yet they form the foundation of a career built to last. Russell's perspective strips away the sensationalism, highlighting that greatness is often forged in unseen moments of discipline, patience, and relentless effort away from the spotlight. Formula One. Rookies historically face steep learning curves, but Antonelli's circumstances amplify the challenge. Russell stresses that adjusting to the pace, strategy, and physical strain is already monumental for a teenager. Added to this is the reality of adapting to a car that fails to deliver consistent feedback. Unlike rookies in top-performing teams, Antonelli must learn while navigating unpredictability, making each session more about survival than confidence building. Russell highlights that the learning process is invisible to those outside the garage. Fans see only lap times and race results, not the mental recalibration required after every setback. Antonelli's perseverance demonstrates resilience uncommon at his age. Russell frames him as an athlete already balancing the dual battles of self-growth and external scrutiny. This duality defines the rookie challenge: to learn quickly enough to silence doubt while enduring struggles that are, in truth, part of every driver's unseen foundation. George Russell's defense of Antonelli is more than empathy. It reflects his own journey through difficult transitions. Russell knows firsthand how merciless Formula One can be to young drivers tasked with exceeding expectations in underperforming machinery. His perspective carries weight, as he recalls enduring similar struggles at Williams before Mercedes offered him a lifeline. By speaking openly about Antonelli's unseen battles, Russell is offering validation, not excuses. He frames Antonelli's growth as part of the natural cycle, warning against premature judgment. Russell understands the value of patience because he has lived through the long seasons of underachievement. In aligning himself with Antonelli, he positions the young driver not as a liability, but as an asset undergoing the necessary trials of development. His words serve both as protection and as a reminder that the sport's brightest stars often endure adversity before they earn the right to be celebrated. Mercedes' struggles cannot be examined in isolation from the wider pressures within Formula One. Russell notes how young drivers like Antonelli are particularly vulnerable to shifting dynamics behind the scenes. Decisions on car development, leadership direction, and even sponsorship priorities impact performance more than outsiders realize. Antonelli, Russell explains, finds himself adapting not only to racing, but also to a rapidly changing environment influenced by competing forces within the sport. For a teenager, this requires maturity beyond his years. The unseen dimension Russell highlights is how Antonelli must learn to navigate political and structural complexities even as he develops on track. These challenges often go unnoticed by fans who expect immediate results. Russell's point reinforces that Antonelli's path is shaped as much by organizational context as personal ability. The Austrian influence over Formula One's governance and team hierarchies underscores the fact that rookies like Antonelli inherit battles far larger than themselves. Russell also addresses the intensity of media coverage surrounding Antonelli. In an era where every gesture is amplified, the narrative around a struggling rookie can spiral quickly. Headlines exaggerate missteps, fueling narratives of doubt before a driver has the chance to prove themselves. Antonelli, barely into adulthood, is forced to withstand levels of scrutiny that seasoned professionals often find overwhelming. Russell insists that the public does not see the emotional toll of being dissected on a global stage week after week. The media's lens reduces Antonelli to storylines of success or failure, ignoring the nuance of development. Russell's defense highlights the need for perspective, reminding audiences that growth in Formula One cannot be judged in isolation from time and context. In this climate, Antonelli's resilience is not only a sporting attribute but a personal one, proving his ability to withstand noise while focusing on the long-term vision. Through Russell's eyes, Antonelli emerges not as a struggling teenager, but as a resilient professional in the making. Each setback becomes a lesson, each criticism an opportunity for growth. Russell underscores the importance of this resilience, pointing out that it will ultimately define Antonelli's longevity in the sport. In a team searching for redemption, Antonelli is developing the kind of fortitude that cannot be measured on a stopwatch. What the world does not see, Russell explains, is how Antonelli continues to arrive prepared, motivated, and determined despite mounting challenges. It is this capacity to withstand adversity that often separates fleeting talents from enduring champions. For Mercedes, Antonelli's resilience is as valuable as his raw skill, offering hope that the future can be rebuilt. Russell positions him not as a symbol of decline, but as evidence that character forged under pressure and carry a team forward. Russell's revelations about Antonelli extend beyond a single season. They paint a picture of Formula One as a sport where unseen battles often define eventual triumphs. Antonelli, young and untested, embodies the reality that growth is messy, demanding, and often misunderstood. Mercedes' slump magnifies every flaw, but it also provides a crucible where resilience is shaped. Russell's words remind the audience that drivers are not just performers. They are individuals navigating relentless expectation while striving to master a craft at the highest level. Antonelli's story, seen through this lens, becomes less about short-term results and more about long-term evolution. For Mercedes, this period is not just about recovering performance but about cultivating endurance in its future talent. Russell's defense ensures that Antonelli's struggle is recognized not as weakness but as the foundation of strength, signaling that the path forward, though steep, carries within it the seeds of redemption.